welcome back to Pure Nebraska. Mondays here on the program, we'd like to hear from the farm organization called the Alliance for the Future of Agriculture in Nebraska, or AFAN. Today, AFAN is connecting us with an expert from the Nebraska Beef Council.
Adam Wegner is here, and he has some ideas on how to buy, prepare, and store that holiday roast. Because you know what, Adam, a lot of people are thinking about cooking and baking right now.
It is that time of year.
Yeah.
What a wonderful time of year, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and you know, what's really great about this time, this week leading up to Christmas, there's lots of great deals going on at the grocery store. So a great time to buy and prepare for your family or friends.
So, what are you thinking about when you go to the grocery store looking for the right cut?
Yeah,
what do you do?
There's some basic steps you need to go through if you're going to be preparing a roast. And the first thing you want to do is select the right cut of meat. And right now for the holidays, what we really recommend, there's three basic cuts. There's a tenderloin roast, which we're all familiar with. That's kind of that crown jewel. There's a ribeye roast, which is very popular around the holidays as well. Prime rib is what most people would call it. And then there's also a strip loin, which is basically a New York strip or a Kansas City strip, but a whole roast. And right now, those are a really good value in the grocery stores as well. So if you're looking for something a little different, maybe you've had ribeyes in the past, but you want to try something different, strip roast might be a good option for you.
Sounds good.
Okay, and let's talk about preparing a roast. My dad, that's a big issue, right?
Oh,
he doesn't want it dry.
Yes.
So how should you go about that?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are really hesitant about, you know, they purchase a roast and they've made a pretty good investment in it and they want it to be good. And it's really not as difficult as you would think. Most people use just an oven in their kitchen, and it's a really simple way to do it. I did bring a couple things. If you have a roasting pan, that's great, but if you don't, you can simply use a jelly roll pan, and then the key is to put some sort of a rack, and this is just a cookie cooling rack, but you can put that right on top. You place the roast right on top of that rack, and then the key is not to cover it up, not to add any liquid to it. So those roasts they're premium roasts. They don't need that benefit of liquid to cook it. So that's the key. Put it in the oven. We recommend about 350 degrees. And then as a general rule of thumb, figure about 15 minutes for every pound that the roast is.
Okay.
So if you're trying to plan out, you want to back out from when you want to eat and just count backwards and prepare it that way. But the real key is to use a meat thermometer. So doneness is really on the internal temperature. There's two different ways you can do it. Here I have this is an oven-safe thermometer, and this is an instant read. You don't want to mix these up, John.
Okay.
So you want to make sure if you're going to leave it in the oven, use the oven-safe. Otherwise, if you're using an instant read, use one of these.
Okay.
And you know, you can cook it to whatever your doneness preference is. About 130 degrees is about medium rare.
Okay.
Is that what you like?
That's what I like. It's a nice pink in the center. The ends, a lot of times, a little more well done. And that's what's kind of nice. If you got somebody in your family that likes it a little more cooked, not as red, you give them the ones off the end. Maybe you take the ones off the middle. But another really important thing that we tell people is when you take it out of the oven, you're not quite done. So what you need to do is set it out on the counter, tin it loosely with aluminum foil, and then let it sit for 15 minutes. That is key, because if you cut into it right away, all the juices will escape out of there.
Yeah, and I think we only have about 30 seconds left, because this is, you know, I'm learning a lot here, but carving a roast, what do we need to know about that?
Yeah, you want to remove all the bones off it if you have one that has bone in it. You want to cut from one end to the other against the grain. Make sure that you figure enough for your family and friends. So we figure 1 to 2 servings per pound. If you've got a family that likes to eat, you might want to figure a little bit more than that, but that's a kind of nice general rule of thumb to go with. And like I said, if you should happen to have any leftovers, put those in the refrigerator, but only keep them for a couple of days. After that, use them up or throw them away or freeze them.
About 2 days or so. Okay. Adam, thank you.
Hey, thanks so
Merry
much.
Christmas.
Appreciate it.
Merry Christmas.